Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Before we even begin, before we even start with the absolute slaughter that Milo did of that panel, does anyone find it peculiar, just, I don't know, that there was 2 white Republicans versus 2 black Democrats? Did anyone, I don't know, find that interesting, how it kind of falls in line with the narrative that they're constantly promoting to you guys? Because in most of the shows that I've seen with Bill Maher, there's usually one token black guy on the panel. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyways, guys, I don't know if you saw the show, but I hope you did. Because man, they had their butts handed to them. They have it served on a silver platter. So let's get into it. So we have Bill Maher, who invited Milo Yiannopoulos, who was kind of like catapulted into the spotlight, into stardom overnight, thanks to once again the idiocy of the left with their intolerant behavior of the UC Berkeley riots. Not only that, but his book Dangerous, I heard it like shot to the bestsellers list, and it's not even out yet. So good job, left. It's working.
It is working. It is working.
So we had 2 black Democrats. One was Malcolm Knott, who's a U.S. counterterrorism intelligence officer, and the second one was Larry Wilmore, who is a comedian. You know, people who are very, very well versed in the political arena. And then on the right, of course, we had Milo Yiannopoulos and then Jack Kingston, who was actually of no help whatsoever. You know what? Let me pause for a second, because Jack Kingston actually kind of upset me during this whole panel process. And the fact was, because he was silent, it was honestly 2 versus 1. Because Jack was just, you take all the questions, I'm good. And this is the problem that I say all the time, that you always have one who's, battling everyone, and then you have all these other ones, these other Republicans who just keep quiet and smile. Like, yeah, you can do it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, guys, you guys gotta speak up. They're speaking up. The left is speaking up. Why aren't we speaking up? So anyways, we get into it. Fresh off the press, we get, Bill Maher asking Milo about him ridiculing a transsexual student, right? Boom, Milo hits back talking about, you know what? Here's the beautiful thing about Milo. He is unapologetic. Like, he says something and he stands by it.
So yeah, I did it on purpose.
You did. So this is a man
I
who...
misgendered this person.
Many, I won't even say Republicans, many politicians tend to, well, let me rephrase this, what I meant by this. Milo's just like, no, that's what I said, that's what I meant. You want to know why I said that? Well, here's why I said that. When Milo presents him with his reasoning for why he said that and why he feels this way, Bill Maher himself even concedes. He's like, well, you have a point. I have nothing to say with that. And that's how we make progress. Not from people who just like, no, I don't want to hear you, or they walk away. That doesn't prove anything. I still have the reasons why I feel this way. You still have the reasons why you feel this way. If we can't come to a conclusion, come to an agreement, even an agreement to disagree, then we're exactly where we started. Oh my goodness. But here's the beautiful part. This was honestly the highlight of the whole discussion panel thing, is when Bill Maher was like, well, I gotta say that, and you can hear claps in the background, because everyone, I guess, all the libtards thought, the robots thought he was just gonna attack him, right? Say some type of witty, like, insult, like, well, I think you're an idiot, or well, this, blah, blah, blah. But he didn't say that. He agreed with him. So you can listen. If you listen, you can hear the claps, and then they immediately stop.
But I think that women and girls should be protected from having men who are confused about their sexual identities in their bathrooms. That's
not unreasonable.
That person...
Yeah, that's not unreasonable.
That person...
So right after Bill Maher agrees with Milo, we have, Larry Wilmore, who chimes in with his 2 cents, which is honestly less than 2 cents, about, well, that's what they said about gays. It's a disorder, Well, it's a disorder, and, the same thing's happening with transsexuals.
No. Homosexuality was called a disorder. It was a psychological disorder.
Maybe it is. I feel pretty disordered.
Well, maybe you are.
Maybe it is.
But most homosexuals are not.
Here's the problem with this argument. Milo addresses it correctly, but here's my argument with that. At what point is a disorder not a disorder? At what point do we normalize mental disorders? At what point do we do that? If you want to say that you're a car, you believe you're a car, and you're going, vroom, 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 what is the difference between that person saying he's a car versus the person, a man, saying he's a woman? Oh my goodness. Ben Shapiro made a great statement in one of his speeches, and one of the students was, well, it's not yours, it's not right, you know, if someone wants to be addressed this way, you have to respect that right, and yada yada yada. He's like, well, if that's the case, why, he asked the speaker, he's like, how old are you? And they were like 23 or whatever. He's like, why aren't you 50? Why aren't you 60? If you identify as 60, why can't we call, why aren't you 60? Why, if someone's 18 but they identify as 21, why can't they drink? And it's a beautiful argument, because it's essentially the same rational, it's the same thinking, just applied to a different perspective. And that's what a lot of these things just need. It's a different perspective. When it comes to legal immigration, well, you're breaking up families, you're breaking up this. Well, different perspective. Just a slight switch, and it's like a light bulb should come up. And then right after that, Milo states that, you know, transsexuals are involved in a disproportionate amount of sex crimes. And Bill Maher just, I'm not touching that, because obviously if he says something like that, he has the data and the statistics to back that up.
But they are disproportionately involved in those kinds of crimes.
They're what?
Vastly disproportionately involved in sex crime.
Who is?
Gender people?
Yes, of course.
If you look at any of Bill Maher's discussions like this, never have I seen him just completely be docile and just submissive. Never have I seen him like that. Never. He's always bam, bam, bam. You know, just blunt force, blunt verbal force every single time. I love it. I love it because there's nothing they can say to Milo. He's a gay Republican who used to date a Muslim black man. What do you say to that? That's honestly he's a unicorn. There's nothing you can say to him. What it boils down to, it completely eradicates all the BS, all the name calling. It eradicates that, and it gets to the core argument. And the core argument, as we'll see from the left, is coming up. We'll get there momentarily. So after a little back and forth, Milo, of course, he's like, yo, he tells Bill Maher, he's like, you need to, you know, bring higher IQ guests, because these people, they're stupid, they're imbeciles.
Hey, do you always have to fight with everybody?
I don't. We were having such a nice time, but you always invite such awful people on your show.
These are not.
They're so stupid.
Look at.
No, come on. You need to start inviting higher IQ guests, or this is going to be a disaster.
And he's rightfully so to say that. What do you have? A comedian, and then what? Some counter-terrorist who really made no points during the whole video. His only point, and I love it. His only point was to ask Milo, "You an American?" When he got so frustrated because there was nothing he could say, Milo, of course, is like, "No, I'm not." Well, then F off.
Are you American?
No, he's not American.
Fuck off.
That's their argument. That's what it boils down to. And then Larry's like, you know what? F yourself, man. Go F yourself.
You can go fuck yourself, all right?
Yeah.
Remember me saying we were going to get to their argument, the core premise of every liberal's argument? That's what it is. It's not, well, this is why, blah, blah, blah. Once you wipe off all the pejoratives, all the adjectives, all the framing that they want to do of racist, bigot, all the phobias and all the that's what it is. F you. Go F yourself. Because they don't have an argument. That's the beautiful thing. That's what was seen in this discussion on panels. That it all boils down to little sensitive, safe space liberals who don't have an argument. All they have is feelings. So when they're, you know, pressed up against the wall, all they can do is say F you. And Milo, if you think Milo gets offended at this, you're crazy. He gets offended at that as much as I get offended at, I don't know, a gym. And the irony thing about that, he asks him American, he says no. That's really interesting that a tolerant left, a tolerant Democrat, would tell someone who's not an American to go F off, but they want to preach about tolerance and about the refugees and about legal immigrants and all of this. Isn't that interesting? Does anyone not see the hypocrisy in those two things? But it's not over yet, because then we have you know Larry Wilmore, who's like, you know what? Everyone but me could run circles around you. this guy could run circles around you.
You didn't hear a word this man said early in this segment because he can talk circles around your pathetic, douchey little ass for me.
I love it. I love how he's signaling that everyone but him is intelligent, does in fact have a higher IQ. Because Larry Wilmore is an idiot. He said so himself. He's like, I can't beat you, but this guy can. I can't do it, but this guy can. This is probably one of the greatest Bill Maher interviews I've seen in a while. I'm not just saying that because he got completely slaughtered. I'm saying that because, I don't know, it brings to light, brings to focus just who they really are at the core. And they're idiots. They're imbeciles with nothing but feelings and safe spaces. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you happen to agree with, Bill Maher in the panel and, they totally gave it to Milo, or you happen to agree that Milo completely made fools out of them and laughing stocks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. He's a unicorn.